Good morning, everybody, and welcome to 2021. I woke up sober this morning, and I thought that I would celebrate that by coming on a live stream, maybe playing some guitar, and talking about how my year has been. But it's really probably going to be mostly about the last couple of months, because they have been transformational in a very good way. So I spent some time yesterday making a video that went out on my YouTube channel about what it's like being a recovering alcoholic on Hogmanay. Hogmanay is, of course, the Scots word for New Year's Eve. And it was a good way to spend the day, I think. It got me in touch with my thoughts and feelings, and I'm finding it quite therapeutic, actually, talking about recovery and alcoholism on camera. Ian's on screen. Happy New Year, Ian. I hope you have a fantastic year. And I hope we get to meet this year. Last year was a bit of a disappointment in that respect, not getting to travel around and see friends in various places, that kind of sucked. So fingers crossed we're allowed to start travelling again at some point this year, and we get to hang out again and do what we do. That's going to be fun. So one of the videos I watched on YouTube from one of the course members that I'm going to talk about quite soon was about choosing a word for the year. And I did this last year. The word that I chose last year was patience, because at that time I was newly unemployed. Wasn't quite sure what I was going to be doing with the year, but I was about to launch a social media marketing business. And I had spent a lot of the last month of the year, so December 2018, listening to podcasts and taking courses on how to build and do social media marketing for clients. And I was super excited about it. And then COVID kind of came along and killed all of that. So, yeah. Anyway, patience was my word, and I didn't really actually use it properly, I don't think. I didn't keep it at the top of my mind, because I'm very impatient when it comes to building businesses and just getting things done, So I almost chose it again, but I thought, no, I'm not going to choose the same word again. So the word I've chosen is courage. So it's official, because look, I've written it down on my 2021 page. Is that going to... There you go. 2021, courage. Because I feel like all the other things that I'm looking for in life will manifest if I adopt courage in my life. So I'm talking about building a YouTube channel. I'm talking about potentially going into coaching. This is something I'm toying with the idea of, and I've had some really good feedback from some friends about that. So transformation was an option, because I want to transform into the person that I want to be. I want to get away from being the grumpy postmaster. And I had a good chat with a friend yesterday morning whilst I was out in the rain with the dogs getting soaked. I had a really good conversation, and I talked about how I want to transform to become more of a loving person, somebody who wants to help people, not for what they can get from it, but because they genuinely want to help people. And I think I do have that in me. I think it's just been covered over by all the other crap, you know what I mean? So it's really about digging for treasure, I suppose, in some senses. Just getting rid of all that crap that's accumulated over my spirit, as it were. So, yeah, I feel like it can work. Anyway, I've mentioned a course, right? Friends from a course. What the heck am I on about? At the end of November, or perhaps about the middle, I can't remember exactly when it was, I discovered a guy on YouTube called Ali Abdal. And it came through a newsletter that I read from an author called Ian Broom. And Ian had mentioned a writing tool called Rome Research. So I looked into Rome Research, and it's a really nice note-taking app. And through looking at Rome Research, I found Ali Abdal because he had done a video about Rome Research. So you see how the algorithms work and SEO and all of that. So I started following Ali Abdal's content, and he put out a video about how much he made as a doctor and as a YouTuber in 2020, or at the first part of 2020, I can't remember, but this was in May he put the video out. So Ali's 26, he's a junior doctor working for the NHS in Cambridge, and he's also a YouTuber. He makes content for YouTube. He has affiliate marketing. He does courses that he sells online on how to be a video editor, on all sorts of things. Happy New Year, Malcolm. Nice to see you. Thanks for checking in. Maybe we'll get to meet this year, huh? Fingers crossed on that. So, Ali's content inspired me. I thought, here's a young guy who's pumping out content on YouTube whilst working as an NHS junior doctor, right? Well, I've been in hospital a lot, leg injuries and all of that. I know how much time doctors have to work, particularly junior doctors. And I was always complaining that I didn't have enough time to put videos out. I thought, well, okay, if a junior doctor can put out this much content, there's nothing stopping me. And the way that he talked about his earnings, I found really inspiring because, you know, money's that kind of taboo subject, right, in society. And I don't really like that. I know that that's how it is, but I see it beginning to change a little bit now. So with Ali's content, how open and honest he was about how much he was earning from YouTube and from affiliate marketing and from courses, you know, it was inspiring. So soon after that, he announced a course. That's how you hustle. He built a course on, what was it called? The Part-Time YouTuber Academy. And he put a message out on Twitter. I looked at the prices. I was like, okay, I won't be doing that. I mean, it actually wasn't that expensive, but having just spent a year of buying course after course, I was kind of coursed out, as it were. So it completely inspired me. And then he put a tweet out. No, in fact, first of all, I sat down with my son, who has a YouTube channel of some 24,000 followers. But he hasn't been publishing of late. He's been slacking a bit. He's 14. So, you know, he's got time. And I talked to him about it, and he was like, oh, this looks really interesting. Maybe I could do it with you. I thought, okay, that now I've got an in, right? So Ali put out a tweet to say that he was really blown away by the response that he'd had to this course. The numbers were way beyond his wildest dreams, and for that reason, he was going to double the price the next day, just to try and slow the numbers down a little bit. So I was like, panic, buy. So I bought the course. And it turned out to have been one of the best things I've ever done. It was absolutely transformational. So it was the beginning of November, I think. And it was a 4-week course with live tuition, with homework assignments, with an online group where you could go and chat to other people and get feedback on your videos. There were guest speakers. There was a power hour, which has actually transformed my life in quite a big way. The power hours ran at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. every day. And I made every one of them, at least all the morning sessions. And the idea of the power hour is that you do something that's not urgent, you do something that's important. Because the urgent things tend to get done, come what may. The important things tend to get pushed aside. And it wasn't long before I started using those morning sessions to do my journaling. I've been writing a journal since 1986. There's some hair-raising stuff in there. Actually, I mentioned a 1987 entry in my YouTube video that I made yesterday because it said that my dad had bought me 12 cans for New Year. So in 1987, New Year, I was 16. Freya's 16 now, my daughter. It's like, it was a different time, I think. But anyway, so I used the time to start writing my journal, and that just became such an important part of my day. And it's something that's continued since the course ended. They've started a thing called the Inner Circle, which is a membership program for course alumni. And at the end of the course, Ali actually reached out to me and asked if I would become one of his peer supporters for the next course, because I had brought so much value into the first course. So that came about because the sort of age group of the course was maybe, let's say the average age I would say was around 30, right? I'm 49. I have had a YouTube channel since, I think, 2007, something like that, before Google even bought YouTube. I know my way around camera gear, I know my way around audio gear, so I had a head start there. I've been around the block a few times and failed at many things, which gives me some experience and wisdom, I like to think. So, being in such a young group of people, I don't know what it was, because normally I'm a background kind of guy, but in this group I felt safe and comfortable, and I just started helping people. People had questions about gear, people had questions about how to speak on camera, all of these things that I had something to talk about. And so that's what I did, and it became incredibly, what will I say, it was like a transformation for me to be able to help people without looking for anything in return. So that opened my eyes to that, which is a kind of AA philosophy anyway. That's how AA works, Alcoholics Anonymous. You keep your sobriety by giving it away. So at the first homework assignment was to come up with a video on your favourite thing. So it's a nice easy opener, just pick a thing that you love and make a video about it. So I was actually going to do a guitar, duh. And I thought, no, that's a bit hard, I'll keep that for when I'm a bit more experienced. Let's do a fountain pen, because I love fountain pens, I love stationery, I do my journaling. This is a great thing to talk about. Now, the power hours that I mentioned, they were run by a guy called Hassan Kuba, an author of a book, a co-author of a book called Unfair Advantage. I think it's The Unfair Advantage. So when I was in the first power hour session in the first week, I thought, this is a nice guy. I'm going to buy his book, support him, just to say thanks, because he's running these power hours that I'm getting value from. So I bought the book and I started reading the introduction. It's a business book, right? I don't generally enjoy business books much, but this one was written in a really easy to follow style. And in the introduction, they introduced the idea of the unfair advantage, which is really about finding something that you have that could give you an advantage over other people. So it could be money, right? You could be born into money, you want to start a business, you've got capital there that you can use. It could be simple as being born in the UK. You know, we have an advantage here in the UK when it comes to, well, access to NHS or to, you know, there's all sorts of things like that. So I began thinking about what my unfair advantage might be. And I thought about the group that I was in and the age sort of demographic. And I thought, right, one of my unfair advantages in this particular group is my age, right? I've got knowledge and wisdom that I can share with people. Because all these young people, it turned out most of them were actually beginners in the group. They'd never posted a YouTube video before. And I thought, okay, yeah, I've got some wisdom and some age. Instead of thinking of that as, oh God, I'm the old guy, what am I doing playing in this group of youngsters? I started to turn that around and think, okay, I've got something here I can bring to the table. Then I started thinking about my sobriety. Now there's a thing. Not everyone gets to keep sobriety. And if you excuse me a second, I'm just going to go let the dog in because she's pawing at the door. Just a sec. I'll just check my comments during the break. Oh, thank you, Ian. That's very kind of you to say. Yeah, alcohol is a crutch, big time. So I had come to the realisation that sobriety was a thing, a valuable thing, and it gives me an unfair advantage in some ways. So I decided I was going to do my favourite thing on the AA book, Alcoholics Anonymous. It's called the Big Book, right? This one here sits on my desk. And I called it The Book That Saved My Life. So that's quite a hooky title, right? And all I did was do what I'm doing now. Just turned on the camera, sat down, talked into it for 10 minutes or so. And I didn't really edit it much either, I don't think. I just chucked it out, because at that point Ali hadn't talked in his classes about how to edit, so it was just like, out it went. And the response I got was incredible. It blew my mind. People were, in fact, the manager of the course, he came in the feedback section and said, now this is the ultimate accolade, right? He said, I watched the whole video at 1x. I didn't even know you could watch videos faster than 1x because I'm 49. But it turns out on YouTube you can change the speed of the videos, and nobody watches videos at 1x if they're under 30. So how about that for an accolade? I watched your video at 1x and I was gripped all the way through. I thought, right, I can tell a story. I think my 15 years of talking in AA meetings have taught me how to tell a story. So I basically pivoted my niche, as they say in the parlance of YouTube. It was going to be guitars. I decided I was going to change it around and talk about recovery. So for the next 4 weeks, that was my niche, and I started trying to think about what that might look like, what the content was going to be about. So the whole course was just about how to build systems, how to plan your content, what structure to use for your videos, the whole, part-time YouTuber Academy. It was phenomenal, but it wasn't about the knowledge. The best thing that came out of the course was the community. The community has been absolutely mind-blowing. In week 1, I reached out to somebody that I enjoyed talking with and asked if she would like to be my accountability partner. And this was encouraged at the beginning of the course. They're all saying you need to get yourself an accountability partner. And I reached out to Esther, and she agreed, and a beautiful friendship began to blossom. And that was transformational in itself, because it got me comfortable talking on camera, sending video messages back and forth through the day, making each other accountable, asking each other what we were going to be doing. Esther's on the channel. Good morning. Nice to see you. So that was an amazing experience, just becoming friends with someone and growing together, you know. And it wasn't long before we started to form our own sort of spin-off groups, because the course was coming to an end. It was like, well, how are we going to keep this going? Now, at that point, the membership group hadn't been announced, so we started our own. We built our own WhatsApp group. We started building a website using Notion. Esther was absolutely rocking it. She started bringing in guest speakers. She booked me as the first guest speaker to come and talk about gear. And we built an amazing thing. And it's still going now. Now, we have multiple WhatsApp groups now. We have a small, amazing little accountability group with a bunch of diverse people across all ages and countries and races and nationalities, genders. It's, how many's in there? I think there's about 8 of us. And it's just such an amazing little group of people. It's been the best thing that happened in 2020. And I put out a tweet last night that said, you know how a good film can be spoiled by a rubbish ending, right? Well, it was the other way around for me with 2020. It was a shit year that ended in an amazing way. So, you know, hashtag 2020, am I right? Cheers, Ian. Thanks for coming in. It's lovely to see you. Hashtag 2020, am I right? Well, kind of no. 2020 has been an amazing year for me in so many ways, and I'm going into this year now with focus, with purpose, with ideas, but the best thing is with support. That's the most beautiful thing about it. And that's why I'm tearing up a wee bit here. That's why I'm excited for the year. That support network that we've built is just incredible. So yeah, that's why I've chosen courage as my word, because, you know, I feel like coaching is a thing that I could do. This is what I wrote in my journal yesterday. It was about how, you know, when I mentioned it to my wife, she was like, coaching? What are you talking about? You hate people. It's like, yeah, I kind of give that impression. 12 years of working in a post office, right? What a mistake that was. But I'm not there now. So, gratitude. And, you know, transformation is an idea that was given to me by Hassan Kuba. He talks about how his coaching program is about transformation. That's what his goal is as a coach, is to help people to transform and become who they want to be. So part of the process for me was figuring out who it is I want to be, and that wasn't hard. You know, I want to be a better bear. I want to be a good husband, a loving father. All the things that I really haven't been concentrating too much on, and I feel like I've been living my life wrong. So these are the things I'm going to turn around, transformation. And I can do that by helping other people, you know. I reconnected with AA a couple of days ago. I went to my first meeting in, it must be over 6 months. Simply because I bumped into a guy when I was out walking the dogs. You know, I feel like it was meant to happen. This is my higher power. I have a firm belief in a higher power. that keeps me sober and keeps me grounded. But sometimes my head goes off into the clouds, my ego creeps in, and I start to fall off the programme, as it were. So reconnecting with AA has been great. There's a meeting tonight I'm intending to go to. It's on Zoom, of course. But I'm used to Zoom now because I've been on Zoom pretty much all day for the whole month of sort of November, December. So it's powerful stuff. And I feel like this is my year. This is the year I'm going to look at my guiding principles, at my primary purpose, which is to become the person I want to be, which is not the grumpy postmaster. You won't be surprised to learn. And I think that by focusing on the word courage, all the other things I'm looking for will come with it. You know, when I don't feel like making content, when I don't feel like going on camera, when I don't feel like helping someone, I can just think of that courage concept. When I don't feel like going shopping, right? That's a bit of a thing for me right now. Going to the co-op usually brings me down and I end up spiralling into sugar. That's my crutch right now. As a type 2 diabetic, it's self-destructive behaviour. So I'm not picking up alcohol, not taking drugs, I'm turning to sugar. And that behaviour has to stop. So I think courage can help, but with the support network I've got behind me for my business, with the support network I've got for recovery, which on Twitter, by the way, is fantastic. There's a really strong recovery network of people on Twitter that I'm intending to use a lot more as I go into 2021. So yeah, this was going to be New Year with cams and some guitar. There hasn't been very much guitar, has there? Maybe I'll play you a wee tune now. How long have I been yakking? Probably far too long. This thing doesn't tell me. Oh yes, it does, 27 minutes. So I kind of like to keep these things to half an hour. So I'll wind it down now. Daddy was a gentleman, he lived a simple life. Daddy was a farmer's son. With that common county dirt running through his veins, he worked the fields until his race was run. This old city leaves me cold. Something in my blood is calling me. I just wanna watch the sun go down. Walk barefoot down a white rock road all the way to town. Sit and watch the old man at the feed store telling lies. I'll be a farmer's son till I die. Quiet voice said, look into that mirror on the wall. A three-piece suit don't look that good on you. People stand in line now just to tell me I'm a fool for the crazy thing I'm bound to do. cutting till my hands are sore. Thank the Lord for rain. Walk across a new plowed earth and watch the clouds roll by. Be a farmer's son till I die. I'll be a farmer's son till I die. The first song of the year, The Farmer's Son, that one's called. So thank you for tuning in. I'm really blown away by how many people have come in just to see little old Cam's yakking into a camera on New Year's Day. Nick, thank you, my friend. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. Hazel, musician friend, wonderful musician. Yep, type 2 diabetes can be reversed. I actually did reverse it with the keto diet when I was first diagnosed, and I lasted about 2 years actually without any medication. It works. And then I fell off it again, and now the alcoholic self-destructive behaviour makes me eat too much sugar, so yeah, I'm back on the meds. Stephanie, Happy New Year. Thank you for joining. David, an old guitar friend, hope we get to meet this year. That would be amazing. John Thomas, another fellow Walker head. We both own guitars built by the amazing Kim Walker, who works out of Connecticut. Fantastic instruments, and John's a really good friend and has been a good supporter of me on my channel. Thanks for joining, John. And Esther, of course. Glad you got to come and see it. So yes, 2021, folks. Let's do this thing. It's going to be great. Happy New Year, everyone. I'll see you all very soon. Thanks for watching.